So Apple just wrapped up the launch of AirPods Pro 3 last month, but if you thought that was the end of the story, think again. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple's already deep into development on the next version of its high-end earbuds. Now, it's not entirely clear whether this will be called AirPods Pro 4 or simply a significant refresh of the AirPods Pro 3. Gurman himself didn't commit to a name, preferring instead to describe it as a new version of the high-end AirPods Pro. This might sound a bit confusing if you're new to Apple's naming conventions, but the company has done something similar before. Take the AirPods Pro 2 for instance. They were updated a year after launch with a USB Type-C charging case and a few other tweaks, but they did not get a formal name change. So it's entirely plausible that this iteration will be an enhanced AirPods Pro 3 rather than a fully new generation. Adding more fuel to the fire, analyst Minshew co-suggested that Apple's next AirPods Pro will see more significant hardware changes sometime next year, including at least one tiny infrared camera. A leaker on the Chinese platform Weibo also claimed that these might be a higher-end Pro 3 variant rather than a Pro 4, echoing the approach Apple already takes with the standard AirPods 4, which come in both noise-cancelling and non-noise-cancelling configurations. Personally, I don't see Apple doing that though. I think it's much more likely that Apple just updates AirPods Pro 3 next year and doesn't officially brand them as AirPods 4, it's more of an AirPods Pro 3.5 instead. On top of that, Gurman reports that Apple is working on a next generation H3 chipset for wireless audio. The chipset is expected to deliver improved sound quality and lower latency, a meaningful jump for anyone who uses AirPods for gaming, watching videos, or live music. While Gurman didn't specify which AirPods will get this chipset first, it seems likely the next Pro iteration will. And beyond performance, a new chipset could also mean improved efficiency, so maybe, just maybe, we could see a little battery life increase as well. Historically, every new Apple Silicon revision tends to bring at least a small power efficiency improvement, so even if this turns out to be a mid-cycle Pro 3.5, there's a decent chance Apple will quietly make them last longer on a single charge. Now, the inclusion of infrared cameras is where things get really interesting. Quo has previously mentioned that these tiny sensors could enable in-air gestures and tighter integration with Apple's Vision Pro headset. Imagine controlling media, adjusting volume, or even interacting with apps without touching anything, all through subtle hand movements while wearing your earbuds. It sounds futuristic, but this aligns perfectly with Apple's broader AR strategy. Vision Pro was never meant to be an isolated product, it's a start of a new input language. Apple clearly wants us to get comfortable with gestures, and AirPods could be one of the most natural gateways into that. Now, while gestures definitely would be cool, I do wonder how practical they're going to be in public. Waving your hands around on a train just to skip a song might look a little awkward. Physical controls, like the squeeze gestures we already have, feel discreet and tactile, so I'm curious how Apple plans to make gesture-based interaction feel natural without it being socially uncomfortable. Still, I think this is exactly what Apple wants, they're training us for the future. Remember when the Apple Watch Series 9 came with gesture control? It looked odd at first, but now it's become sorta normal, so I can see Apple doing the same here, getting us used to a world where we interact with tech using our hands and eyes rather than touchscreens. Anyway, if you're enjoying this breakdown so far, make sure you hit subscribe and click the new hype button, it really helps a small channel like mine, and I've got loads more Apple coverage coming your way. Now, to understand where we're heading, let's rewind and revisit what AirPods Pro 3 actually brought to the table. The headline feature this time was improved ANC. Interestingly, Gurman initially reported that no ANC improvements were expected this year. That turned out to be false because Apple claimed AirPods Pro 3 delivered up to twice the ANC of the Pro 2 and 4 times better than the original Pro. Even if those numbers sound optimistic, the difference is noticeable according to reviewers. If you've ever used AirPods Pro on a flight in a busy cafe or while commuting, you know how crucial good noise cancellation can be. Battery life also saw a meaningful increase. On paper, the Pro 3 offers up to 10 hours of listening time in transparency modes, a 67% increase over the Pro 2, and up to 8 hours with ANC on. That's a significant increase. This isn't just about convenience either, it's about long-term usability. Batteries and small devices degrade over time, and so starting with a higher baseline ensures these earbuds remain reliable even after years of usage. Another big addition was heart rate tracking, a feature that was rumoured for ages. With the Pro 3 you can track your heart rate, calories burnt, and even close your move ring in the fitness application, all without the Apple Watch. Personally, I don't see myself using this much since I already wear an Apple Watch, but for those who don't, it does effectively turn your AirPods into a mini fitness tracker. That's quite impressive for something that fits in your pocket. And it shows that Apple wants AirPods to do more than just play music. Now, we've talked about what the AirPods Pro 3 delivered, so what does this mean for what's next? The upcoming H3 chipset could unlock richer sound, faster pairing, and lower latency, plus possibly better efficiency. But if I'm being realistic, since this is shaping up to be a mid-cycle refresh, I wouldn't expect dramatic leaps in battery life or ANC again. What I would expect are new forms of interaction. Those infrared sensors might actually make gestures a thing, allowing users to control playback or answer calls with subtle movements. Even if it sounds niche right now, those small additions are how Apple gradually builds towards its bigger vision. And honestly, what part of me wishes Apple would just throw everything in all at once, new chip, cameras, gesture controls, battery upgrades, all in a single release, I kinda get why they don't. Spacing things out allows Apple to have 2 refresh cycles per generation. Think about it, when Apple introduced AirPods Pro 2 in 2022, many upgraded for the improved ANC and sound quality improvements, and also the new case with Find My support. But the following year, when Apple introduced Type-C, that created another wave of upgrades. Same earbuds, new ports, another sales spike. Apple loves generating money, and staggering upgrades is the perfect way to maximize that. It's frustrating for us tech fans who want everything now, but from a business perspective, it's genius. This slow, methodical rollout strategy also keeps the product line relevant for longer. Each year there's something fresh to talk about, whether that's new sensors, chipset updates, or software features. It keeps AirPods in the conversation without Apple needing to completely reinvent the wheel every time. And honestly, it's working. AirPods remain the best-selling wireless earbuds in the world for a reason. Of course, for those who bought AirPods Pro 3 right now, you may be disappointed they're going to be replaced so soon, but do remember, Apple's quite generous with trickling down and adding new features to older models. Live translation, for example, is not only available with AirPods Pro 3, you can use it with the Pro 2s and AirPods 4. And remember the hearing aid feature that came to AirPods Pro 2 via firmware update? Apple loves adding value to existing products when it aligns with their health or accessibility goals, so we could see more of that in the coming year. So should you buy AirPods Pro 3 now or wait for the next iteration? Well, it depends. If you need better ANC, longer battery life, smaller fit, or heart rate tracking today, then AirPods Pro 3 undoubtedly are a fantastic buy, and you can already find it on discount via third parties. But if you're the type who always wants the latest tech like the H3 chipset, infrared cameras, or gesture control, then waiting might be the smarter play. The only thing to watch out for is price. If Apple markets this as a more premium Pro 3.5, they could justify a small increase. That's pure speculation though, but given the component costs, it wouldn't surprise me. In conclusion, AirPods Pro 3 represents Apple doing what it does best, refining rather than reinventing. They deliver stronger ANC, better battery life, heart rate tracking, live translation, and an even more comfortable fit. Meanwhile, Apple's already setting up the next phase with the H3 chipset and infrared cameras, leading us into a more connected, gesture-driven future. Whether you upgrade now or wait for the next refresh, one thing's clear: the AirPods line isn't slowing down anytime soon. If you've enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay ahead of all of Apple's upcoming audio updates, make sure to subscribe and click the hype button. It really helps support the channel and ensures you won't miss any of the latest leaks, rumors, and launch coverage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.